to work. So everybody, welcome back. Thanks again for joining us for our Citi Pathways to Progress ideation session event. If you were here yesterday, awesome work once again. And if you're just joining us now, welcome back. And if you'll ask your team to fill you in, they will have all the information from yesterday that they worked on and their findings, and you can jump right in to ideation and finding solutions and coming up with how your solutions are going to become a business proposition and affect the world and change everybody's lives. Too many screens up here. So just a quick run through again, the supporters for the event: KPMG, Bank of Ireland, Aer Lingus, Citi, Enterprise, KBC, Ireland Funds, Unilever, Enterprise Ireland, HSBC, Chartered Accountants, and the Irish Times. So, and then as you're working throughout the day, if you want to share what you're working on, you can tag Enactus Ireland at Enactus Ireland on all of the things. And Sophie and myself at What the Hack are What the Hack on LinkedIn and Hack Something on Twitter. And then 2 hashtags for the event: Pathways to Progress and We All Win. Tag everything with everything. And we will be taking over the internet. All right, so day 2, what's coming up? Today is focusing on ideating solutions to the barriers that you found. Some of you started on this a little bit yesterday as well. So you spent yesterday looking at who your personas are, what their needs are, why they can't get those needs, and how that's making them feel. So now you have a goal on what the barrier is, where it is you need to get past that barrier, and how you want your customer to feel at the end of it. We want all of our customers to be happy and healthy at the end of it, essentially. So why are they not getting there, and how can you help them reach that? And then also importantly, how can that product that you create to help them reach that make money? Those are going to be your main focus today. So a little bit of the schedule for today. After this talk at 2:30, your mentors are going to be able to drop into your voice channels. So please have a representative from your team on your voice channel to talk with them. Their job during this time is to ask you questions about what you did yesterday, about your assumptions, about the research that you've completed, and then to gently poke holes in all of those assumptions and all of that research so that you can build your product back better. You can answer those questions ahead of time so that you end up with the best, strongest, most applicable product that you can possibly have in the 3 days. This is if you think back to Amy and Aoife talking yesterday, that idea of constantly testing. That idea of constantly testing your ideas against your market, against your user, against a variety of different sources, so that you're not building something that is either not relevant to the problem or that nobody is going to use. That'll be at 2:30. We'll have work time then until 4 o'clock. At 4 o'clock, we'll all come together onto a Zoom again for a quick stand-up about what you have created today. So you'll present what your idea is for your product solution and a little bit about your business model that you're proposing. And that'll be at 4 o'clock, same structure as we did yesterday. We'll all be on a group call and you'll have one one representative that you've selected to present your team's work for the day. And then at 4:30, you'll stay on that same Zoom call. At 4:30, Andrew Keogh is going to give a talk about preparing your pitch. So tomorrow will be all about preparing your pitch and then presenting your pitch at the end of the day so that you can get your idea out there in front of the judges. So Andrew is going to give you some tips on how to present that, on how to structure all of your ideas together. And so that when we open tomorrow, you can kind of hit the ground running, get that pitch together, get anything last minute that you need done, and then present the best pitch possible at the end of the day. And just a few reminders from yesterday about best practices. Make a plan. You have multiple people on your team. Divide up the jobs, divide up the tasks, so that you can get as much out of the time that you have as possible. Don't panic. As you guys so well proved yesterday, you can do a lot in a very short amount of time that you have. So don't panic. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. Use the tools that are available to you. I have even more Miro templates for you today. So there's tons of templates for you to use that you can fill in that can help you organize your thought process and your information. And also use your mentors. That's going to be one of the best tools that you have today. They're here because they're experts, and they're here because they want to help you to build something better. So definitely use those tools. They're here for you. Use everything. Communicate with your team and your coordinators. So I know there's a few of you here today who were not in yesterday. So really make sure that you ask your teams to fill you in, and what you can do. There's no need for you to redo what they've done yesterday. Use their information, which was great information that they gathered yesterday, and hit the ground running today with ideation. And then of course, have fun. We're not here to, well, maybe if you build the next Microsoft, go for it. But right now, we're about having fun, learning a new process, and getting your ideas coordinated. So don't let it not be fun. You're not getting graded on it. Don't worry. It's not an exam. So your task today is going to be about ideation. So ideation is a fancy word for coming up with solutions. But if you think about it, we're coming up with lots of solutions. You don't need to have the one perfect final product that you're gonna, take to Shark Tank. This is about coming up with ideas that then you can test and you can try out. So coming up with lots and lots of ideas. So this first one is the problem or opportunity solution tree. And I'll list all of these. I'll send them all into the general chat so that you can just drop that name right into the template search on Miro, and it'll pull this one up for you. So this is where you're going to kind of start to organize your desired outcome. So what was it that your user can't get to? Side of your user map. And then how you're going to get that to them, what your idea is to get that to them. What's your solution? So I would make one of these for kind of each of the desired outcomes that you have. So thinking back to yesterday, there were people, I don't remember which team exactly, but somebody was talking about financial literacy and helping young people to become more financially stable. So what in that is the desired outcome? Financial stability, better understanding, being able to plan, better education, having connections to other people who have done something similar. Each of those, you're going to make a different tree with that desired outcome. Then you have an opportunity. Your opportunities are where there's a hole there, where there is somebody who needs something that you can provide. You can provide a product to fill. So in terms of, say, financial planning for young people, you might say, okay, there's no app that includes things like part-time jobs and grants. There's an opportunity, a hole in the market or a barrier that you can fix. So either a hole that you can fill, a barrier that you can break down. Those are your opportunities. And then from there, write out the different solutions for that opportunity. Might it be that you're connecting them with people? Might it be that you're providing them just with information? Might it be that you're giving them something fillable, an interactive app that they can fill in their information into that will give them answers? Whatever you feel like are possible solutions to that, those are your solutions that then you're going to fill in. That's why it was a tree. So that's why it's called a tree. So it spreads out from there. You might have one opportunity, but you might have 10 different solutions that you come up with for that. And then your experiment. How are you going to test out whether that is an applicable solution? What are you going to need to do to see, okay, does this solution actually apply to the problem or the desired outcome and the opportunity that we have identified? I would start with this, get all your ideas out on paper here. This is the best one for just sort of, brain salad, get it all out there. As ridiculous as it might be, don't worry about it. Get it down on paper so that you don't lose that later. Maybe even the most ridiculous ideas is something that you can bring into the game later on down the line. So get everything out. Try not to censor yourself yet at this stage. That's coming next. Once you've gotten your desired outcome opportunity tree all filled out, you've got every solution that you can come up with in a short amount of time. I want you to go on to there it is, your 2x2 matrix. So this is looking at what is it that you can implement now in your product and what is it that you might do later. So looking at how much of an impact is your solution going to have, or the feature of your solution going to have on that desired outcome that you identified earlier. So if we're still using the financial services, if if financial literacy is the desired outcome, then maybe a gamification app that takes a lot of effort, maybe that's not going to have the high impact on my final or on my desired outcome that I want it to have. And you're going to take all of those solutions and you're going to organize them into this grid. What has a high value, what has a high impact, and doesn't take a lot of effort. So this is going to be what happens in your MVP, what you focus on for your kind of first release of a product, where you start, where you get people hooked in, that then later on you can start to add in other features that might take more time and might have a little bit less impact. And you can identify the ones that just aren't worth it. Sometimes we come up with ideas, I can be guilty of this myself, come up with ideas that seem brilliant, that might be amazing, that'll be so much fun. And then we realize they're not going to impact that desired solution, and they're going to take a whole lot of work. And so they're just not worth doing. So it's finding that kind of cost benefit analysis, if we're going to go for the econ people, of each feature that you want to include in your product. Once you've built this out, you understand, okay, those tasks or those features that are in your low effort, high value category, that's your version 1. Your high value, higher effort category, that's going to be maybe your version 2 that you want to talk about if you can talk about down the line in your presentation, in your pitch. So now you know, okay, this is what we're building. This is where we're going with it. This is what we're going to present. This is our product. You now have a product. Yes. And then now that you have a product, you have to build a business plan to go with it. Having a product is great, but if you're not going to make money, your product's not going to go very far. Excuse me, dust in my throat today. So now I want you to look at what is your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. If any of you are coming from any even tangential business background, this is your SWOT analysis. You know it, you love it, or you don't. But everybody in business has probably seen one of these before. Identifying what are the strengths of your product. Why is it so great? What is it that makes your product the one that's going to take out the competition? And then what are your weaknesses? How can you, or what is it that your product might need to work a bit more on? What maybe do you want to kind of sweep under the rug in your presentation? And then what are the opportunities? Again, going back to those holes in the market. Where can you fit in where another product has failed? And what are the threats? Do you have competition? Are there existing products? Are there technical or regulatory issues that might threaten the success of your product? You're going to fill all of these in, try and get this as detailed as possible. I know we don't have a lot of time, and this is a lot of things, but this will be your next step. And then being able to build out, there it is, your business platform. So this is your business canvas. And from here, you're going to put all of those understandings of your product, your solution, your opportunity, why it is that this is the best product, how it affects your customer segments, your personas that you identified in the first day. Where is the money coming from? This is your business plan. This is the basis of your business plan. And so tomorrow, when you're presenting your pitch, one of the things, if you've looked in your judging criteria, you have to say, okay, we have a business plan. We're showing that we are able to make money. This is where you're going to get that information from. Throughout this day, once you've come up with those opportunities, or once you've filled in that opportunity tree, I would advise divide and conquer. So you have multiple people on your team. This is when you can use that to your best advantage. So if you have some people who are better at looking at the possibilities for the solutions, some people who are better at thinking in terms of business, work separately, divide yourselves out, kind of delegate the tasks. You don't have a lot of time and you have a lot of work to do. If you're dividing and conquering, if you've got one person working on your task, you might also want to have somebody just making a really rough sort of mock-up so that you have an idea of, okay, this is exactly how our process is going to work. This is a little bit of what our product might look like. This is the wireframing template in Miro. And I said it's all listed in I'll put the list in the general chat as well. So by the end of today, you should have an understanding of, here's what our product will look like. Here's how it's solving the problem. Here's how it's making our personas, our customers' lives better. And an understanding of what your basic business model is going to be. So that tomorrow you can just slot all of that information right into your pitch structure, and you'll be able to share it out to the judges. It'll be super simple, super straightforward, and you'll have the best pitch possible. And you can really focus tomorrow on nailing that pitch and fine-tuning your presentation. Do I have another one? So that is the tasks for today. I'm going to drop all of this in bullet points and steps into the general chat, so that if you're a little like overwhelmed right now with that like tidal wave of information, then you can look over it again. There'll also be the list of all of your Miro templates in there as well. So I know a couple of people were using them yesterday because I got questions about them. So they're great. They're right there. You just have to drop sticky notes in them. They're already labeled for you. So again, use the tools that are there for you. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel if you don't need to. And other than that, make sure you have a plan, communicate with your coordinators and your teammates, and make sure you use those tools that are there, especially the mentors. So speaking of mentors, your mentors have access to your voice channels. So at 2:30, they'll be dropping in. Make sure that you have a representative in your voice channel from your team. I might drop an extra mentor in on you. You never know. So just make sure there's somebody there in your team voice channel, so that when your mentor shows up, they're not sadly there by themselves. And again, ask them questions. They're here to give you advice, to share their understanding of everything, and to help you to make the best solution, best product possible at the end of it. Is there any questions from anybody about what we're doing today, or your mentors, or anything else? You can either drop it in the chat or shout it out.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Yesterday we are working on Miro template. Are we going to fill that first, or are we going to move towards new template today?
On Miro?
Yeah.
So you can use the same board that you used yesterday and just add those templates on. So if you go to that same template button on Miro and add another, and say add template, it'll just add it to a different section of the board. So you can have all of the work that you've done for the whole 3 days will stay on one board for you.
Okay. And another question is, in yesterday's board, there was two boxes. One was labeled with persona and second is with personality.
Mhm.
What is difference between them and how are we supposed to fill in them and differentiate between them?
So for the persona, this is going to be kind of the one second. This is going to be kind of the persona is everything about your person. So that's going to be their age, their buying habits, how tech savvy they are, kind of the overall characteristics of your person. Their personality can be within that. So does that make sense? Like personality is their individual mental personality, and their persona will be their overall characteristics, everything that you need to kind of reach them marketing wise. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Made sense in my head. One second. We have one more. So we're just going to go over the prizes, and
I have another question.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. Yesterday it was quite open that it could be any product or it could be any service. Yesterday it is today it is more focused on towards product. Could it be any service or it should be ultimate goal is to go for some product?
If a service is the best solution, then that's perfect. It's so by product, I mean whatever the best delivery method of your solution is. So if it's a service, that counts as well. That's perfect. So especially if if you can show that this is the best way to solve your problem, then perfect. So I love seeing solution or service-based things. We don't need more products out there in the world. Okay. Oh, and importantly, last thing for a little extra motivation for the rest of the day, prizes. So reminder of why you're all here other than the fun of it and the chance to work on something new. So prizes. We have a 300 euro seed funding for the first place for the overall pitch winner tomorrow. And then a special reminder, because hint, hint, the social media slide is up. They're also running a social media competition with one for all vouchers. So we have 30 euros for the best post on Instagram, 30 euros for the best post on Twitter, and 30 euros for the best post on LinkedIn. So if you needed a little extra motivation to share out what you're working on today and tomorrow, you have it there. So lots of motivation to have other than to just have the best possible solution or product that you can have. Any other questions real quick before I send you off and drop you into your mentor channels? Nope. All right. So you guys are ready? Make sure there is somebody in your voice channels. The mentors are dropping in as we speak, and they will be there to talk to you and go through your solutions, your assumptions, everything that you've done so far in the past day. So thank you again, everyone. If you have any questions, and make sure to tag Enactus Ireland and use hashtag Pathways to Progress to be in the chance of winning those social media prizes. So if you have any questions, always contact ping your coordinators or myself or any of the facilitators, and we'll be happy to help. I will also, as I said, drop all of this in bullet points into the general chat so that you have everything we've talked about here. And the link to the video will be up as soon as it finishes processing. So we're ready. You're off. Have a good time, and we'll see you all back here at 4 o'clock. So see everybody soon. Good luck today. Have fun. Great work. Bye.